Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. I am JB, setting up the machine for Ryan Madson and those Kansas City Royals. October is a sweet, sweet month for those guys, and we appreciate the time you take today, Ryan, to chat with fans. Are you feeling pretty good? I know it's a chilly day in Chicago. Are you up for chatting to fans?
Yeah, absolutely. I look forward to it.
All right, man, it's a great round. We know how the Edward Jones Chatting Cage works. If you can't get to a webcam so you can get in the show with me and Ryan, well, here's the deal. Hashtag Chatting Cage. I'll do my best to read it. If your name on Twitter is bizarre, that's usually a lot of fun as well. So in the meantime, while you get the webcams fired up, you push that red button, get in line, then get FaceTime with Ryan. I will ask those questions that we have off of hashtag Chatting Cage. And the first one is a great one from Gary Joe Overland. Is it harder, Ryan, to thrive as a reliever in the bat-heavy American League?
Yeah. There's definitely more thumpers, guys that can hit the ball out of the park. I learned that this year. I think I've given up 5 home runs, whereas last year in the National League I gave up 2. And so it just seems like there's more pop throughout the whole lineup, and they're trying to hit home runs here more. Where in the National League they're trying to just get runs across any way they can.
All right, well, there you have it, Gary. Answer to your question, just like that, folks. It works out that way. In the American League, those guys are looking to put it over the wall and into souvenir land. We have fans lined up to join the show, and here's one right now. What's your name, where you're from? What's your question for Ryan?
Hi, my name's Adine, and I'm from Stamford, Connecticut. I was wondering, what does it feel like when you're on a team that just won the division for the first time in 30 years?
Yeah, it feels great because the fans, you could tell they're so excited when they came out to the park all year long really, but the last couple weeks of the season they started really pouring into the stadium, and it made us feel like it was a big deal, not only to us, but it was a big deal to the fans. And so to do that the first time in 30 years, you really get a sense of how important it is and how important it is to the fans mainly, and just to be able to give them something that they can brag about for the next 30 years is great, and be a part of that is exciting, and just glad to be able to do that for the fans.
An exciting time for those fans, absolutely. And a great question from a young fan there, finding out what it's like to be on that division winner there in Kansas City. We go back to Twitter. While fans, you get your webcam fired up. I kind of like this one. There's some Man PT, also known as Patrick Mann. Ryan, powder blue or royal blue?
I like changing both. I like wearing both. The powder blues kind of change it up. It's kind of monotony of a season, But I like putting on the powder blues. Some guys come out with some really cool cleats that they wear with the powder blue uniform. So I'm not one of those guys, so I'm not cool enough to pull it off. But I like watching, Guthrie and some of the position players wear those fancy cleats with the powder blue. So it's fun.
There is no lack of fashion statements in Major League Baseball, no matter what people may think. Those alt colors give plenty of options for the guys that dig the shoes and the cleats. Yeah. Ryan, a little more traditional in the cleat department. Another young fan, Joseph. What's your name, where you're from? What's your question for Ryan?
My name is Tommy. First of all, Ryan, I just wanted to say congrats on making it back to the bigs. And I just wanted to ask really how it feels for you after 4 years really being injured and whatnot, to be on a postseason team and being a really big part of a bullpen for a postseason team.
Yeah, at first, coming back, I was very nervous. Just being part of a good team like this one is, and wondering if I could even help them out, and just really nervous about doing good for them and not ruining their season, which is weird. But after the first month or two, I realized I belong here. I could pitch here and help the team win, and that felt really good, especially a team like this where we made it to the playoffs, and I've helped in a couple games for sure to get us there, and I couldn't have seen this coming before the season started, that I'd be a part of this team and this quality of a team, and help them win maybe a World Series this year. So, I've just been blown away by everything that's happened this year, and this is just kind of the cherry on top to cap it all off.
Certainly one of the great stories in baseball right now as you look at January 2015, where you were there, and a great sentiment to understand, folks. Even Major League Baseball players like Ryan, they get anxious about not helping the team out. So it's good to know. Don't get worried. If you're down, look up those guys as well. Another fan in the cage. What's your name? Where you're from? What's your question for Ryan?
Hey, this is Derek in San Francisco. How you doing, Ryan?
Hi, Derek. Doing good.
Hey, I was wondering, how hard was it to maintain your faith and hope during your 3 seasons you were spending rehabbing from those injuries?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was definitely a roller coaster. That's one of the biggest reasons why roller coaster of emotions, because, the definition of being insane is trying something different and having the same result, trying something different and having the same result. And so I really was going just mad about it, and, something that was always there for me, being able to throw the ball and get guys out from a young age. And when it got taken away from me, it was a terrible, terrible experience. And it was hard to keep the faith and trust that, I was still going to be able to do what I love to do. And it took a lot to come back, and it took a lot of faith and to trust it. But it was a difficult time. Definitely the hardest times of my life was sitting at home and not being able to do something that I loved and always have been able to do. And so I just thankful that I got it back, and I'm doing good again. So it's just a testimony to hard work and determination. And if something's really that you want is out there, you can go get it.
Great insight to what it takes to keep the determination alive and the faith it takes to battle back from injuries from Ryan Madson right there, folks. Just like that, get your webcam fired up, get a great question in, get a great answer from a great Major League Baseball player. I'll go back to Twitter while you fire up those cams. This is from Brett Chenhall at BC Henhall. What's the one thing coming to the Royals, Ryan, you found out that you didn't expect?
One thing I found out about the Royals that I didn't know would probably be everybody knows how much fun these guys have on the field, but I didn't realize how much fun they have off the field and in the clubhouse. And it's just a lot of fun to sit back as a new guy to watch them razz each other and really just be a friendship, a group of friends, and just going out there to play a Major League Baseball game. Everybody thinks it's formal and they're out there to win, and then you go in the dugout or in the clubhouse and realize that, hey, these guys are having fun and they're just enjoying their lives as baseball players and enjoying it together as a group of friends. So that's one thing I was surprised to see.
That is amazing. Get some insight into that clubhouse. It really is as much fun as you might think, maybe even more so, because those guys are actually playing together as a team of friends. You talked a little bit about what they do off the field, so let's go further into that. That leads to the EDJ question of the day. And as you went to Kansas City, I'm sure this was on your mind, and now you must know, Ryan, what's your favorite barbecue place in Kansas City?
Oh, I'm trying to try them all. I've gotten 3 or 4 down, and man, I don't know. I would say, the first one I tried was Gates, and I liked that a lot. I like their ribs and their rub that's on the ribs. And then the last one I went to was Q39. It's a newer place, and their pulled pork was unbelievable. It was tender. It was almost like cotton candy, but it was pulled pork. Wow. It was that tender and that juicy and just melted in your mouth. So I got to give both places credit.
I like that. And now we know where to go for ribs and the pulled pork. Might have to make a little road trip. These are the things, by the way, Ryan, that the chatting cage is really designed to get us into. This is what we want to know, is where to go in Kansas City for barbecue.
Yeah.
Another fan steps in the cage. What's your name, where you're from, and what is your question?
Hi, my name's Ami, and I'm from Connecticut. And I was wondering, the Royals are known to be a young team, but there's a couple of veterans on it, like Johnny Gomes and Alex Gordon, year 1 now. I was wondering, they say, it's good for young guys to talk to veterans, and, it's good for veterans, the other way also. Does it actually make a difference?
Yeah. What was the last part of that? I'm sorry.
I think how much of a difference does it make? What is that experience like?
Oh, yeah. As I used to be a young player, and then so I used to look up to guys, especially in the bullpen, and see how they acted day to day when they came in and what they did when they came in and how they acted in the bullpen, and I picked up on that. So I know as a veteran player now that those guys are watching me, And it's not necessarily what you say. It's more about your actions and what you do and how you present yourself daily and how you act out in the bullpen and whether you're watching the game and paying attention to how to get hitters out. And then, the other part of it is talking about hitters. After several seasons in the big league, you start to see patterns in hitters in certain categories. So I can say, this guy's like this guy. David Wright is like hard to come up with an example right now off the top of my head, but as you watch the game, you can give the younger players an idea of how to get those hitters out, and it lets them come up with their own plan. So not only is it the presence that you get to give to other younger players, but it's also the knowledge, and that's the fun part.
Great question from the fan. Another great answer from Ryan, talking about that dynamic between veterans and rookies and what it's like to come up with the bigs and be on both sides of that coin, as Ryan is now. We go back to Twitter while you get those webcams warmed up and ready to go. This is from Alicia71. Ryan, you have a favorite road city to travel to?
Well, there's a lot of things to consider when you talk about a road city. The stadium or outside the stadium, weather, history. Like Fenway Park's always fun to go to just because of history there. Obviously Wrigley too. And Chicago is also a great city for its food and restaurants and stuff to do. I went to Baltimore. Baltimore's nice too. There are a lot of things to do outside the stadium and in the city. But all in all, I would say obviously New York too. I forgot about New York. New York's a good city to go to because the food. I think I'm more considering the food more than anything, so I'd have to say New York or Chicago for the food.
All right, I like those priorities. It's always interesting when it seems to be the pitchers break down between where they can golf and where they can eat. That seems to be the defining part of the two cities.
Yeah.
I guess the starters are looking for the good golf courses more than the relievers. Another fan joins us.
That's
Another fan joins us in the cage. What's your name, where you're from, and what is your question?
Hi, this is Nick from Blue Springs. I was just wondering, do you think having postseason experience is going to help you going forward in the postseason this season?
Absolutely, there's no doubt. The first time I was in the playoffs was 2008. And each level's different. The first round, second round, third round, and I was just so nervous and anxious about is it going to be? Can I get outs here? Can I what's it going to feel like? And so every level, and we won the World Series that year. And I remember pitching the World Series the first game in Tampa Bay in 2008, and I didn't know whether I was going to be able to throw a strike or not. And then the following year, we went back to the World Series in Yankee Stadium, and every level going up to division to the league championship and the World Series was so much more enjoyable. I was more relaxed, and I think I pitched better because of it. And so I brought that into 2010 and 11 when we went back to the playoffs. And each year, after the first time, it was a lot better. Each time after that. So I'm definitely going to take that experience in this year, and hopefully the layoff didn't let me forget that knowledge and what it's going to feel like.
Well, that's, again, great insight to what's coming up in October for Ryan Madson, those Kansas City Royals. They've been there as young men, now as veterans. Ryan has as well. And that wraps it up. You're a veteran now of the Edward Jones Chatting Cage, which is pretty much a big honor in and of itself. Do you feel pretty good? You had a good day in the cage, I hope?
Yeah, I was okay. A little slow off the gate, but it's cold out, so
that's right.
I'll blame it on that. But thanks for having me on.
Hey, man, always a pleasure. Ryan Madson, Kansas City Royals, thanks for being with us. Fans, thank you. And we'll see you on the next round of the Edward Jones Chatting Cage.